Cancer, Cancer rising. How you doing, Cancer? This is your reading for the Sagittarius new moon that happened on the 1st of December 2024. I am recording this after the event. I do apologize for the delay in getting this transit series out, but I work with 6-month cycles, so the energy that comes through in these readings are going to serve you for the next 6 months, taking you up to the Sagittarius full moon next year in Gemini season. Hello and welcome. My name's Chloe. I work with card divination, astrology, and I channel multi-dimensional energies through my body, both in the form of physical and vocal light language. You just heard some of the vocal, now you're seeing the physical, and all of this brings in healing, attunement, and activation codes to the messages that want to come through in this reading. Right, so I read for the rising signs. So for those of you who don't have Cancer in the first house, look to the house that it does fall in your natal chart. Look to the themes of that house, and you want to apply those themes to the messages that come through, as well as all the other meaning you've got going on in the sign of Cancer, sun, moon, whatever's hanging out there. Apply all of that to what comes through, because it will be as if that Cancer energy, wherever it falls in your natal chart, has now energetically moved to the first house. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Right, Cancer rising. Where is this happening for you? This is happening in your 6th house of work. Right, this is the adult in the room energy. This is work, how you figure things out, right? It is your physical health, your routines, co-workers, and therefore collaboration, and pets and acts of service. And beautiful, powerful new moon that happened there. So I'm going to list off some intentions that might be a really good thing to tap into. Even though it's after the event, I still feel like you can tap into the energy, because time's happening all at once. So, new intentions around you stepping up to be the adult in the room for yourself. So often that can be really difficult for us for various reasons, what things we may have learned from parental figures, environments, addictions, all those kind of things where we sacrifice ourselves for everything else, right? And don't take care of ourselves, basically, and don't feel the desire to put in the work. So you can set an intention around raising that energy, elevating your understanding of how you work and being able to put things into practice and do the damn thing, elevating your understanding of your physical health and how to work with it. If you're suffering from a malady, this can be a great new means to ask the universe, send me some clues about what I need to do for that malady. This can also be about setting intentions around doing the routines, getting those routines in gear, really getting in alignment with your embodiment in the 3D world in a way of like the sort of the practicalities of it all. It also co-workers, if you've got a project going on at the moment, you can set intentions around a harmonious working environment of everybody working together in, as well as if you want a pet, this can be a great new moon to set that intention of that manifesting in the future. Now the flip side to some of these intentions is asking for help with the shadow work. Right, where are there blockages of you being the adult in the room? What's your inner child up to? That's happening in the 5th. Why are you struggling to feed yourself in a really good way that makes your body really happy? Right, what's the block there? What's the wound there? What wound do you have around being able to understand the way that you work, right? A sort of limiting belief that sort of blocked you from fully stepping into your power. If you've got discourse and conflict going on with Cancer, what a first card. Oh, I can't wait for that to come out. If you've got trouble with co-workers, or finding, tapping in and asking for everybody to access their higher selves, as well as maybe something's going to come up around wounds around collaboration and co-creation with others. that maybe, as I say, something that you learned from your parents of how that doesn't work, right? And how it hasn't happened, so you don't necessarily have that imprint that's easily accessible. You can ask to see, okay, where's the wound? What can I do to work on it? So those are some of the key themes you can set intentions about. Obviously, do what your intuition is telling you around this new moon. Now, I'm going to break down the astrology for the rising sign, and as I do so, I'm going to be pulling these tarot. There's going to be 3 different piles on the selenite. The first pile is what's the most integrated and expansive intention of what this new moon's all about for you, right? What's the vibe that's going to unfold over the next 6 months? Pile 2 is going to be the challenge. Right, what challenge is going to come up? There's various astrological reasons why we're getting a bit more challenges with this lunation cycle. It's all things we can handle. Just trust in the process. I will break down. Whoa, what? Oh my God, big energy coming through for your Cancer. I'm here for it. So yeah, pile 2 is what's going to be the challenge that's going to come up and how to work with it. So often when we get challenges, it's helping us go deeper within ourselves to really understand the root issue. And then when we clear that, we free up so much space to be able to embody the 6th house. Pile 3 is what to focus on to amplify pile 1, right? What direction should you be looking at? What energy should you be channeling? What projects and things and activities should be going on to help facilitate pile 1? I'll also be pulling the card at the bottom of the deck as an overall theme and underlying frequency of this lunation. Now, if you want a deeper understanding of what's going on in this moon, right? I've done a collective reading. That's always the first reading that goes out. And that's where I break down the astrology in way more detail of how all the celestial bodies are talking to each other at the exact moment of the new moon. And this forms an energetic blueprint, right? A download, a frequency that we're then working with over the next 6 months. I pull collective tarot in those readings as well as channeled messages. So if you do feel drawn to it, if you do have the time, if you want to sort of understand it acts as the baseline of what comes through in the All 12 sign series. So pause this video, go watch that, and then come back to see what's showing up in terms of the Cancer energy. I'm also going to be pulling a couple of cards on the Mercury retrograde. It's in Sagittarius. It's in alignment with this particular lunation cycle because it's going to go direct 12 hours after the Gemini full moon. So it's very, very tied in with this astrology. So I'm going to be pulling a couple of cards on that, and at the end I'm going to be pulling one card from 3 different oracle decks that basically kind of sums up the whole reading as well as lets us know anything that may have been missed. So that's the vibe with the cards. Now let's get all right. Cards are jumping out. Whoa, okay, cool, here for it. Yeah, astrology. So new moon in Sagittarius around 9 degrees. If you've got anything in the mutable signs that are near those degrees, you're going to be feeling it. All these cards have come out very quick for you, my lovely Cancer. You are ruled by the moon, so you're always going to be influenced just that little bit more than the rest of the other signs, apart from Leo, who's obviously ruled by the sun. So it's always going to be having a bigger impact on you. And so we've got with this moon a grand fire trine, right? All the fire signs are being activated by sign, but also by aspect, which really condenses the energy. We have Mars over in Leo and the North Node over in Aries. Now, all the fire signs are being active. They're all yang, they're all fire. It's a really easy transfer of information. And the trine is ruled by Jupiter. And so Jupiter likes to bring things together in order to elevate and expand, bring a deeper knowing, a deeper confidence, a deeper faith. And with that, it's like the bigger picture energy by bringing everything together. And with that faith within yourself, with that confidence that trines can build, It allows more space for opportunities, luck, and that feeling of abundance, and also the ease of spirit, right? Jupiter energy is very sort of jovial in its nature. It's got a bit of a spring in its step. It's looking at life on the bright side. So we have all the fire signs being activated here, and these are your work houses. So we have Mars over in Leo. It's going to go retrograde on the 6th of December, but it's not retrograde at the moment. It's slowed down, right? And Mars is over in Leo in your second house of your resources, your skills and tools of how you manifest and bring in a regular income. It's the things that you value, and most importantly, how you value yourself. Because if you don't value yourself truly, madly, deeply, utterly, and we're all having a bit of a struggle bus with that one, that it then distorts the things that you do value, that then recreate the lack of value. If you're not valuing yourself, you're not able to see your skills and tools and amplify them and really have that power of your manifestation. So Mars is there. Mars being in the second house. Oh, get in. Oh, this reading. I haven't seen any of those cards or any of those, I don't believe. Actually, maybe one from here. So I'm a bit blind on some of this, but the cards that I have seen, I am here for. Cancer. This is big vibes. I'm so into it. So Mars in the second, you've got more focus, more drive, more motivation through your instincts to take action around elevating your skills and tools, to cultivating your resources, cultivating through your actions, very independent via the heart space of elevating your own value. Now, there's flip sides with what Mars is doing. Because it's so close to the retrograde, it's highlighting where we're headed and also the old patterns at the same time. So one thing that can be really good with this Mars energy that's trying how you then put this elevation of your skills and tools into practice over in the 6th house is observing your instinctive actions. Fire is very instinctive, right? It's not the thought process, it's not the emotion, it's not the physical sense, it's the go, it's the do, it's the be. It's very transformative, very independent, very charismatic. There's a lot of big warmth energy coming in, very instinctive, very go. And so if you watch, just be in observer mode and watch what your actions are instinctively doing, they're going to highlight where you're headed, right? In terms of your confidence, your independence of your own value, the capacity to put in the action around elevating those skills, as well as all the old habits that then diminish all of that power, right? So this is really helpful with the retrograde that's coming up, of seeing this come through instinctively, observing it, and then doing the work. And then we got the North Node up in Aries in your 10th house of your life purpose and your career, right? Career doesn't have to be life purpose, it can just facilitate it. And so this is all about visibility, reputation, how the big outside world sees you. And it's also linked into bosses, right? People who have authority over you. It's the point in the chart of your natal chart where the sun was at the peak of its arc on the day that you were born. So big sun energy. North Node's been there since July last year, right? So you've been striving into new territory around what is your life purpose? What is your career? How to take it into the next stages? How to evolve into being more in flow with your soul's path, as well as helping you work through a lot of wounds around visibility and reputation, right? So often we can struggle with that, and it's because we don't necessarily value ourselves and we're not open to receive being seen, being respected, right? Because there may be some niggles going on. So the combination of all these three, beautiful. All the work houses being activated. This is your instinctive drive to get up and go, your passions, right? And so they're all in alignment, and all of this is funneling back into the 6th house of you putting it into practice. So for some of you, this might be a big project that you're doing with co-workers where you're going to have to put in the hard graft, but it's serving where you're headed on your life path. You might just be activating a project by yourself. It doesn't have to be linked into co-workers. Whereas, as I said, you're refining your skills, you're putting it into practice, and this is giving you more energy and alignment with where you're headed. You may get a lot of recognition over the next 6 months, or certainly as it unfolds and gets stronger and stronger, of the respect of your skills and tools, of seeing that being put into practice and being elevated, that then you're getting more visibility and more acknowledgement of your value. Now, as I said, Mars is going to go retrograde. I'm going to do a Mars retrograde series. It's going to retrograde back into your sign, Cancer. And so there's a tie-in between your sense of value and how you embody that, your skills and your tools, your alignment of your own manifestation and implementing it in yourself. But you are going to go back and forth over all of this, right? We're bringing depth and nuance to our motivation, drive and our action. Now, we want to look to the ruler of Sagittarius. The ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter. So wherever Jupiter is influencing this moon, and Jupiter's over in Gemini. I'm loving this Jupiter and Gemini transit series, and this is in your 12th house, your hidden house, your house of mysteries. Bit of a difficult house, right? It's the unconscious spaces, things going on behind the scenes. It can feel very disconnected from you, as well as deeply personal. It is in those unconscious responses are unconscious spaces. There are trauma responses and limiting beliefs, and this is often why the 12th house is linked into anxiety, depression, grief, loss, a sense of isolation, right? A disconnection, all of that good stuff. Underneath all of that is the magic of your soul, and this is the cosmic joke of the universe, of putting it in somewhere that's hidden from you, that's going on behind the scenes, that you might not feel like you can access very well unless you're very much by yourself in private. So it's Gemini, right? And now Jupiter's there. Love Jupiter in the 12th. If you haven't caught the Jupiter and Gemini transit series, particularly for the 12th house, because what Jupiter's doing is elevating the inner wisdom, the perspective around all those difficult things, as well as bringing together the magic of your soul in that embodiment. So Jupiter has its own playlist, really easy to access. We've still got Jupiter in Gemini for a while. You're not going to have it for another 12 years, so I do recommend it. Now, Jupiter's retrograde, and this, Jupiter represents expansion, wisdom, elevation, abundance, ease, flow, joy, generosity of spirit. Now, when it's retrograde, it can restrict all of those things outwardly, but what it's really doing is bringing it all internally, where you then start questioning things in order to build a stronger resonance of wisdom, a stronger resonance of integration by, sort of being in that observer and questioning things. So Jupiter's influencing the 6th, and so often mental health issues can affect our physical body. We're starting to know that more and more and more, which I love. More holistic understanding of our human incarnation. So I can see a lot of internal reconstitution around this, any grief, any anxiety, any depression that has got in the way of you being the adult in the room, any limiting beliefs learned from the parental figures that are embodied in the unconscious realms that may have stopped you from being able to co-create, right? The 6th house for me is so important in terms of the more you figure that out, the healthier your relationships are. The more that you understand how you work things out and how you work together with others, the more you can bring that information when you're interacting with others and observe, well, there may be differences here. How can I then work together with that? So any blockages, Jupiter's going to be really helping bring these to the surface in order to release them, and you having a different perspective around it, a higher perspective. It's also going to be digging up and strengthening that connection to the magic of your soul, which is that Gemini curious energy, into the way that you work, right? You being able to apply that powerhouse of energy into being the adult in the room and really stepping up to the plate. Now, Mercury rules Gemini, and Mercury is over in Sagittarius in Jupiter's land. So they're in each other's realms, the rulers, and so this is what's called mutual reception. They're essentially psychically hotlined to each other. They know where everything is, where they are. They're facilitating each other's journeys. It's a real powerhouse of energy when we get mutual reception. You may notice that things happen in the 6th that are facilitating the 7th, and then something happens, in the 12th, and something happens in the 12th that's activating something in the 6th, right? It's going to be like a feedback loop between the two. And they're ruling the whole chart. right? The whole chart has been governing by these 2 retrograde planets. And this is why there's going to be challenges, because retrogrades always bring things up from the underworld in order for us to reflect, revise and revisit and work through. And it's one of the reasons why I felt compelled to say trust the process in all of the readings, because this isn't about immediacy. There's going to be a slow period of this all coming together, and you just got to trust in it. So Mercury, this Mercury retrograde, is helping you reassess and realign the information that you collect, how you perceive that information, what information you collect, how you communicate it, and how you piece the plan together. So I can see a great load of brainstorming when you're by yourself around with that Jupiter in the 12th, because it is about isolation. When you're by yourself, of getting downloads that are going to help you perhaps communicate with those co-workers, how you work, to your bosses, how you work, as well as figuring out new ways, new pathways, new activations of interconnecting of information, of how you work to, and bringing that all together, which is really going to amplify the work that Mars is doing in terms of your skills and your tools and your motivation and drive around that, with the strength coming in from the 6th of being able to sort of navigate and perceive in different ways that is allowing to elevate the way that you work and how you step up for yourself. Now, Mercury is trining Chiron over in Aries at the time of this moon. Now, Chiron has been in Aries for a while. And this is, Chiron's the master teacher, the wounded healer. It's a very powerful energy. It's very intense, right? Because it's often highlighting core archetypal wounds in order for us to heal, right? And find the wisdom within them. It's also a very powerful energy of activating sort of big healer energy. And that can be in any profession. Everything that we do is an act of healing. Apologies, I just had to pause to listen to a voicemail because a friend of mine had locked themselves out and I've got their keys. And she's got Chiron conjunct her ascendant and in Gemini, and she's the masseuse, and the work that she does with her hands is so healing. It's phenomenal. It's magic. So that Chiron energy is allowing a deeper wisdom. And it's often linked into past life energy. So there's this sense of a resonance of a collecting of all the wisdom from different lives in this moment that we're transmuting. So Mercury trine this is healthy conversations with bosses, with co-workers, with yourself, with source, around the wounds you may have faced in terms of figuring out your life purpose, your career, your visibility, your reputation, and then being able to implement that in the way that you work and really figure things out, right? And kind of getting over it and moving beyond it and finding such a strength of character within yourself to just go and do the damn thing, right? The collective reading, the key energy that came through that was this moon is allowing us to be confident and comfortable walking our own path, right? Doing what we need to do for our soul's journey that may not live up to the standards of the productivity or the expectations of those around us. It's not about ignoring those things, but we can tell when it's limiting and when it's not actually serving us, when they haven't got our back, when there's no faith, there's no belief. Sagittarius is all about that, and the confidence to roam with that Mars through your heart into new territory, and that you're going to have a lot of healthy conversations, as I said, that's really going to be breaking down some archetypal wounds and helping you get over that. The final thing I'm going to mention is that this moon and Jupiter were both squaring Saturn, and that is in your 9th house of your perspectives. And this is all about building a higher level of maturity of your perspective so you can walk your path, right? Really elevating that. And I'm here for all of this. Okay, so Just remembered what card came through first was the Empress for the intention of this moon, the what's going to unfold, what frequency is you've downloaded. We've got the Empress, we've got the Lovers. I think I sort of yelped at that one as well. And then we've got the Page of Wands, perfect for Sagittarius, both the moon and the Mercury retrograde. So the intention of this moon, and this is Gemini, right? So we've got Venus, and this is all about this fertility, this creativity, this sense of abundance, of feeling good in the 3D realm, right? What I'm feeling from this card is a lot of energy, a lot of vibrancy that's coming in. So you, like the 6th house, it's got things in there that, we'd rather be going out and having fun, right? But I love that this is coming through, because the more that we nail that 6th house, the more we're so strong in our power, we're able to take care of ourselves, do the damn thing and still have fun. It's never not about having fun. And the Empress is giving a lot of fertility coming in, a lot of creativity, a lot of inspiration, and a lot of vibrancy of you being able to work with this 6th house. In terms of your career and where you're headed, this is big energy and I'm here for it. Gemini, okay, so this is bringing in what I was saying about Jupiter bringing the magic of your soul into the way that you're the adult in the room, a real alignment with your higher self, a union here. With just the Lovers card, this is about you falling in love with yourself again, with the physical health, with the way that you work, with where you're headed and what you're doing. This is the alignment of the masculine, feminine and spirit in order to make the right decisions at big crossroads. So for some of you, there may be certain opportunities that are going to come up over the next 6 months, and you're going to be in a space of alignment to go no or yes, and know which ones are going to serve that soul purpose with that North Node up in Aries. And then the Page of Wands, love it when pages show up, right? So pages are very useful. They've just got into the court. They want to talk to everyone. They want to learn everything. And so this is a fresh new energy of how you're processing information, how you're sharing it, the opportunities that are coming through, the downloads that you're getting. You're really open to new ways of operating in that 6th house. And when I say new ways, they're just going back to the ways that your soul knows how to do, right? And it's getting in alignment here. You might want to look to where your Venus is in your natal chart as well, because that can give you a personal clue about what that Empress card is all about. She happens to be in Capricorn. She's doing some cool stuff in Capricorn with the moon. They're both out of bounds. I talk about that in the collective reading. It basically means like really far out energy, like really non-conventional energy. 7th house can be business partners and one-on-one clients, as well as long-term romantic relationships and intimate friends and your relationship with source. That 7th house isn't going to work unless you figured out the 6th. So Venus is there bringing a focal point of you focusing on a way of co-creating, of collaborating, of working on the one-to-one level. I could see more clients, healthier relationship with a business partner, which means you're all working together and elevating the way that you work and having joy and confidence within it. Here for it. Ishala dieli modoe shanima shinima diania. Right, so the challenge and how to work with it. We've got the 4 of Cups, the Knight of Cups in reverse, and the Strength card. Ishali diala dienia. Comparison is the thief of joy. Did someone else get a promotion? Is everyone else getting praise and celebration? And you're just like, why am I not getting it? What's going on here? And you're getting resentful, you're getting frustrated. There's a bitterness, there's a depression here as well. It's quite a depressed card because their arms are crossed and their legs are crossed, which is very stagnant in its energy. So it's kind of combining that Gemini energy of things going on in the unconscious realms that have kind of slowed your gears, stopped your motivation, that is influencing the way you work, right, and how you put it in. So it's called, these situations may come up. So you may do a lot of work on a project and someone else gets the credit for it and you're just like, well, goddamn. Just know that is trying to reorientate you so you do not give up, so you do not do the things for yourself just because there may be certain consequences that happen which you feel are unfair, right? The trick with the 4 of Cups is to realize everyone is you, right? You celebrate them, you're celebrating yourself. That Ace of Cups is coming flowing in. Anyway, so these are situations that may come up where you get a bit down in the dumps and feel this way. Remember, Mars over in your 2nd house of how you value yourself, going back and forth. So it is going to highlight the wounds there in order for us to heal through them. We then have the Knight of Cups in reverse. And what I'm feeling with this is it's asking you to reflect on where the blocks you have in your emotional body that stop you taking action, right? So this is going to help it's doubling down on this energy of getting you to like knights embody their suit. This is the Knight of Cups. It flows with love. It moves with its intuition. Where are their blocks? Where do you notice that in your life, right? And it is calling you to reflect on it and work with that energy. And it's probably taking you to a more core wound, particularly in the 12th, of those unconscious responses. And it comes with the Leo card, the Strength card. So this is a sense of go back to yourself, right? Realize a lot of what this is blocking you is probably nothing to do with you, parental figures, ancestors that then get recreated in your life that then become to do with you. And the Strength card is all about you and your resources and that Mars energy. And it's a pause card, and it's asking you to be really loving and kind with yourself and vulnerable with yourself around how you value yourself, right? You may think you're very confident, and I'm not saying this is for everybody, but there may be something niggling at all fila right at the root of it that is just asking for a bit more vulnerability of really allowing yourself to be vulnerable. We have our instincts and our higher self working together. They're not trying to dominate each other. They're not trying to take advantage of each other. And it's through that vulnerability is such great courage, such great strength. And when we're in this kind of non-conflict alignment, that's when that infinity symbol gets generated, right? The powerhouse. So it is saying focus 1 on that process, and 2 on your skills and tools, right? On your sense of value. That it's not about what everybody else is doing. It's about what you're doing and where you're at. Right, how to amplify this energy. Right, I didn't see what any of these were. We've got the Death card in reverse. We've got Temperance, which is the Sagittarius card, and another page, the Page of Pentacles. It's interesting. This Death card in the reverse has shown up for quite a few people. There's a sense of we've gone through this process of letting go of things that have had an authority over us, right? And now it's putting it into practice. Now it's putting the new reality into practice. And allowing the acknowledgement of the release, right? The sense of what's blocked you. You've moved through that, and now it's implementing the new dynamic. Now it's about the awareness of you are in a new landscape. There may be things that come up that reflect the old landscape, and that is just helping you do even more detailed work on the refinement of the Death card. But the bigger process of letting go, the bigger story arc of that is closed out, right? And now it is this sort of real refinement of your inner power, your inner strength, your inner protection. To really be true in your nature, right? And not have the outside world have a hold on you over the path that you're going on. And then we have the Temperance card. So we've got Scorpio, then Sagittarius, and they follow each other in the zodiac. And so this is letting us know that this stage, to amplify this, is a real refinement of self, right? This is about the alchemical process, the elevation of your being, right? It's telling you to, put things into practice, do those skills and tools, figure out how it works, get things wrong, get things right, enjoy the process. This is about bringing your angelic higher self frequency into the 3D through that state of refinement, right? Through, and this card is based on fire and water, right? Because there's water in it, but it's a Sagittarius card. And it's interesting, you've got the Knight of Cups and the Four of Cups showing up as the challenge of there's something in your water body that's being blocked. And that's the Saturn energy that's helping raise up your perspective. Beyond comparison is the Thief of Joy, but it's going to involve you tapping into your passion and figuring out, where am I blocked in that emotional body and where am I not, how to refine it, how to elevate it. But overall, do the work, do the practice, good things, bad things, getting things right, getting things wrong. It's all part of the journey of you getting into your own body, getting into your own being of how you work and how you understand things. Page of Pentacles. So listen out for the messages, listen out for the downloads, for the communications, for this feels like jigsaw pieces. This feels like, again, like really enjoying the process of learning the new frequency that you're embodying and putting it into practice. And there may be some opportunities to do that, and I would recommend taking them up without any expectations, and overall just genuinely looking at the way that you can practically apply all the sort of internal work that you're doing. Tum, 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 shinia. This can be brainstorming with your business partners, having higher levels of communication with your romantic partner, where you then work together better. Is a real sense of, you know, the Page of Pentacles. Pages are earth energy, and this is earth on earth. It really is the capacity to be practical, to put things into good use, to want to do the work, to want to do the refinement. So it's really doubling down on do the work, Cancer. It will serve you. Remember what you got. Ah! Right, what was at the bottom of the deck? King of Cups. That, to go with that knight, the Four of Cups and the Knight of Cups in reverse and the Death card in reverse, to get, love this. So this is the underlying energy for this transit, is you getting into your maturity around your emotional body, and then it turning into fuel for you to create and take action in the world from a mature, sovereign place. The King of Cups isn't bothered about floating on a very stormy ocean, a stone throne, by the way. It's not bothered about all the chaos that's going on around it. It understands all emotions are here and they're here to be experienced, but not let them derail you. I love the King of Cups at the moment. It's one of my favorite cards, and it is this really powerful emotional control without denying the emotional responses. And after that is like, this is, you're building towards this, and I am here for it. What is going on with this Mercury retrograde? What is the intention? So I squealed at this one as well. 10 of Pentacles. Love this with all your work houses being activated. Because this Mercury retrograde is what its intention is to get you building into a state of legacy, because this is the city. Cities take forever to build, but once they do, it is about the long-term game, and it's not about the immediate gratification. And so this is so great for all the work houses of you being now focused on how you build to support your incarnation. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. The challenge, the world in return, reverse. So this is Saturn, and this is interesting with that North Node Chiron energy up in the 10th house of the world, how the world sees you, your sense of visibility, your sense of freedom of self, because the key phrase for me with this card is know thyself and the world will open up to you, right? If we don't know ourselves, and if we externalize ourselves to how other people see ourselves and think about ourselves, we are constantly the world in reverse. The more you pull back those layers in the 12th house of why do you respond in the way that you do, what's to do with you and what isn't, how to really get more in alignment with your inherent frequency, the more the world then opens up to you, right? Because you're no longer in conflict with so many things. That allows co-creation with the universe. So this is the block, right? This is the challenge that you're going to go through with that retrograde. You know, I said maybe you've done a project and your co-worker gets all the recognition, and even though you did all the work, those kind of wounds, right? This is, if that happens, and that's just one example of many different things. If that happens, it really is saying go sit and let those emotions move through you. Embody the strength card of utter love and kindness to your own experience, right? And to the experience of everybody else, and realize it's teaching you something, that you have stronger resources within you that are being diminished by this sense of comparison, right? It's not about how anybody else moves through the world, it's about how you move through the world. How to work with it. Third page, you've got 3 out of the 4. Don't know what's at the bottom of the deck for this one. Page of Cups. Communicate with love, creativity, imagination, right? Get real magical. This page is talking to a fish, that fish is talking back, and neither of them are bothered. It's normal. So this is downloads from source. It's Pisces. This is elevate your perspectives. Learn to shift and understand what's blocking me in my perspectives. Why am I not allowing the magical reality to come in, right? Why am I not allowing the love to come in, and the communication of love, the flow of your emotional body through the way that you're communicating? It really is about play. It's the happiest page in the deck. And so it's saying there's play that wants to come in. There's this sense of creativity that wants to come in, that is really going to facilitate if you create a bit more time for that, rather than the worry and the fear about your job, about how everything's working, if you've got enough resources. This is calling you to just give yourself a little more time every day. It doesn't have to be every day, but every day to sort of tap into this energy, tap into the Venus energy, and then start to work with it and refine it. At the bottom of the deck, we have the moon in reverse. So this is for me of things that were unclear are becoming clear, right? The illusions, the delusions, the heightened sensitivity that may, you've got a lot of water here, and obviously you are Cancer energy. You're very linked into the moon. There is a lot of personal emotions running around, and this feels like whatever's trapped you in that regard, that's actually kept you small. Remember that King of Cups that is coming in. This is being dissolved. This is being released. An old perspective, ninth house. Pisces energy of the moon is being released, right? Right, oracle cards. Let's get them out and read in the order that I shuffled them in. Okay, so first up, and this is from Rainbow Brainskull. Relax, it's still just the loading screen. So this is part of like the retrogrades that rule this chart, the fact that Mars is stationing retrograde. We've got Saturn that can often mean delays. So this is about trusting the process and just playing with it and just realizing that we are, I didn't really talk about how what I love about this grand fire trine with this moon is it follows a hell of a lot of grand water trines that we had at the end of the summer until very recently, which was doing some deep healing on our emotional body. And then we have the Uranus full moon, which was, the Taurus full moon that was conjunct Uranus, that was about releasing limiting beliefs in the head that stop our physical body from feeling the abundance, from feeling that it is in an abundant environment. And now our instincts are getting recalibrated, but it's a new moon. So we're going to be practicing and putting and unfolding over the next 6 months. And then with those retrogrades locked in, there is this sense of we're not going to have all the information. We are here to just trust in the process. Sometimes we forget everything that comes before you press play. Trust the process and take the time to warm up because the game is about to begin. I mean, that's so tied in with that Temperance card in the Page of Pentacles of play, experiment, try things out. We always wish that we had more time to prepare. Right now, you actually do. Love that. So if you're getting impatient, if you're worried about how things are going to unfold, that's basically saying chill your beans, focus on the play, focus on the creativity, focus on you and how you understand things. It's not about not listening to other people, but if you kind of give yourself over to that, you're supposed to be operating from your own frequency. You always know what's resonating, so follow that. Speaking of which, I didn't even clock what this said. Always do your best. Honor yourself. That's just what I just said. Honor the man or woman that you are. Take the risk to express your dream. Taking action is about living fully and expressing what you are. I really love that energy for, that's kind of summing up. And these oracle cards often do, which blows my mind. And what's come through. That's from the 4 Agreements Oracle, which was based on a book, which I recommend to anybody. It's very short. And if you follow the 4 Agreements, honestly, your life will shift. And it was written by a Virgo sun, and it was given to me by a Gemini rising, who is the person who happens to be turning up on my doorstep. It's a very mercurial deck, and I love getting it out whenever this is an interesting card. Mercury is being a boss, which it is right now. So from the Shaman's Dream Oracle, this feels very, very relevant. Don't get this card very often. Vanishing Mirror, Ego Sublimation. Letting go of self-centeredness, becoming a vessel of possibility. Now, that is that 4 of Cups. That is summing up that 4 of Cups beautifully. And we're all that, by the way. I'm not trying to pull you down, but we are all that. Do you ever wonder if your self-definition has become too rigid, too fixed around what you've come to learn, so that you contract your life into zones of safe versus unsafe? Love that with all the pages, which is about exploring new ways of thinking, new perspectives. And the Jupiter-Mercury energy is Jupiter's very much about the wisdom, the higher perspective, and Mercury's the details and the information and our perception. And they are working together to elevate, along with Saturn, in your 9th house of perspectives. This here is okay, but over there, well, that may be too risky. Judgment, fear, self-righteousness, and overconfidence are only some of the traits that keep you from evolving. We are all products of our conditioning, so remember that this is part of the human experience. Yet you are not meant to remain static. Remember, this is all mutable energy going on here, or adapting and changing. Seeking only what you expect, even if it appears ambitious, is still too narrow. You go nowhere when you hesitate to move out of your comfort zone. When you focus too much on yourself this way, you become a servant of the ego. It edges God out, removing the magic of possibility. What did I say? Get into the magic. Imagine looking into a mirror and seeing only what you are now. If you can let your self-definition soften, moving beyond the veil to your potential, a magical emptiness exists where all things are possible. Look again. Who could you be? What would you see reflected if you allowed yourself to be other than how you define yourself now? Nothing less is required of you now. In this moment, let go of who you think you are and allow a new you to emerge. You will recognize yourself as what you are, a partner in co-creation in service to the divine. Doesn't it feel good? I love that it said co-creation at the end, because that is one of the themes of the 6th. Oh my goodness, Cancer, what a reading. That was, the energy from it is very powerful. It's a lot of fun. There is some niggling sort of like stagnant stuff that you got to look at, that I can feel, but you're going to have the energy and the capacity to do so. You just got to get out of your own way in terms of your expectations and your assumptions, both internally and externally. Right, Cancer, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I certainly did. Hit that like button if you did. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. If you want a personal reading, perhaps to dive a little further onto this, my details are everywhere. You can book through my website or email me directly, and that way you can do PayPal. Other than that, Cancer, be good. I forgot to mention the South Node manifestation that's happening in your sign since July last year is going to change in January. So this all makes a lot of sense because you've been doing a deep releasing of self and refinement of self. And that's going to really like get into, it's going to be implemented fully when the nodes change signs. And then, Gemini's getting a bit of the South Node manifest. Be good to yourselves, Cancer. Be good to those around you. Safe travels and be well until we meet again.